On this day, Family for Safe Streets joins us with communities around the U.S. and around the world to remember, support, and act. Here in the U.S., at dozens of memorial events, we are demanding action from our city, state, and federal leaders, including a call for the Biden administration to enact policy and make a commitment to zero traffic deaths. Once again, we gather here at Borough Hall, hosted by Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, our new mayor-elect. Mayor-elect Adams is a longtime leader for Safe Streets. He joins us vigil after vigil. He co-sponsors our annual Faith Leader Forum. He even ran alongside us in our 5K fundraiser. Thank you, Mayor-elect Adams, for hosting us today and for making Safe Streets a priority. We are sorry to have learned that something unexpected has come up that prevents you from being able to join us today. It is a true honor to be joined by Senator Schumer and so many current and future City Council members.
Thank you to all who have joined us today. My name is Rita Baravecchio, and I too am a member for Families for Safe Streets, a group that should not be necessary. As a mother and teacher, my heart aches for Karen, my own children, and so many young people who have to live with such immense pain and heartache caused by traffic violence. Today, we stand in front of 1,800 compostable pots. These 1,800 planters play a dual role. They represent a painful, horrifying reminder of the past 8 years. But they also represent our vivid hope for a future that is full of life and light, healing and remembering, dignity and optimism. 8 years ago, we had great reason for hope. New York City launched Vision Zero and committed to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries by 2024. What we got instead was an administration only intermittently interested in Vision Zero. Sometimes Vision Zero was deployed with urgency, but mostly Vision Zero was deployed haphazardly, slowly, sloppily. Time after time, the administration caved whenever faced with pushback on proven safety measures. No, parking spaces should not be prioritized over safety. 8 years later, we have the gruesome consequence. 1,800 humans killed on the streets of New York.
These are not just members. My mother is one of the 1,800 people killed during the de Blasio administration, each leaving family members and loved ones devastated, broken. I am one of them. I'm only 16 years old, and I've now had to live 2 long years without my beautiful mother. And it doesn't get easier. She was my only parent, so she was my father too. I've gone 2 years without her hugs and kisses. 2 years without a good luck at school, I'll see you when you get home. 2 years without her. It's actually impossible to find the words to describe my pain. My mother worked day and night to give me a better life. She was incredible and unique. And in a second, she was gone. I am now a teenager without the most important person in her life. And it's not just me. No other family should have to experience this kind of agony.
We who are gathered here today have paid the highest price for the collective failure to put an end to the infuriating slaughter on our streets. We have lost the people whom we love the most. We have sustained injuries that have altered our lives forever. My beautiful and bold niece, Madeline Mary Sershin, was killed at just 17 years old on a clear June morning by a reckless driver. Her life was just getting started. She was wrapping up her junior year of high school, excited to become a senior. She was getting ready for her graduation pictures, and she was looking forward to a fun summer filled with love and laughter with her goddaughter, her family, and her friends. But none of that happened. Our hearts were broken forever that day, and the world lost an incredible and powerful soul that would have done amazing things. We neither have the time nor the patience for cowardness or haphazard or sloppy or slow. 1,800 humans dead on our streets in 8 years is an emergency, a public health crisis. 1,800 humans dead in 8 years must be met with the urgency it demands. Nothing less than complete commitment to zero traffic deaths.
We know how to make it happen. The life-saving solution of Vision Zero saves lives around the world. They can save lives in New York too. That's why we've chosen to mark today with a display of visual optimism. We hope it will lead to a permanent, living, breathing memorial to all the humans' lives lost on the streets of New York. And most importantly, without delay, we need political commitment. To get Vision Zero back on track, we have the solutions, and what we need is the political will to make it happen. On these steps, we have 1,800 planters. Resting on each pot is a small sign with the name and age of the 1,800 people killed on the streets of New York in the past 8 years. And we have a tree with memorial leaves and our loved ones' photos. You will also find 1,800 packets of seeds for Samantha and James, and Keiko and Rodney and Victoria. Seeds for Sammy and Seth and Ida and Kim and Paul and Charlie and Brian. Seeds for Maddie and my mother. The list is far too long.
To us, these are, most of all, seeds for safe streets. Plant these seeds for safe streets in your yards, on your windowsills, in community gardens. Plant the flower seeds on our streets, in the medians, and around trees on sidewalks. Whenever you plant these seeds for safe streets, you will honor and memorialize all those who have been killed and injured in traffic violence. But you should know, the seeds for safe streets are only a start. We are merely planting the seed for our larger vision of zero traffic deaths. Our dead deserve a living, breathing public memorial. We deserve a public place to honor and memorialize and remember our loved ones.
We want trees. Trees are the lungs of the earth and will help us combat the carbon. from the vehicles causing climate change. Trees bear witness. Trees give us hope and life, nourishment and greenery, light and peace. Trees shelter us from noise and pollution and emission, and yes, traffic. Right now, there is no memorial for my mom and so many others. I would love the opportunity to sit under the shade of a tree somewhere in our great city in a grove dedicated to her and the others who have been killed so senselessly. I bet many of you can imagine similar solace. To Mayor-elect Adams, City Council members, and others who have joined us today, we look forward to working with you and the Parks Department on a living tree memorial. Please, help us grow through what we've gone through. But again, this is not just a start. Most important, we need is a courageous, consistent, and renewed political commitment to Vision Zero.
We are asking our new mayor and our newly elected leaders to publicly sign this pledge today to end this crisis. In return, we pledge to work with you to see that Vision Zero is implemented in a way that is thoughtful, deliberate, and urgent. We pledge to work with you to make it succeed. Before we read the names of all those killed this year, we ask you to make this commitment and sign your name to the pledge board. The pledge reads, I pledge to join crash victims in the fight to make New York City streets safe. I fully support Vision Zero and pledge to 1. Scale up Vision Zero infrastructure that has proven to save lives. 2. Build self-enforcing streets that encourage safe driving. 3. Convert 25% of space for cars into space for people. 4. Work to reduce the number of cars in New York City. 5. Correct inequities in traffic-related harm to make our cities healthy and fair. 6. Prioritize bus service to improve the safety and efficiency in our streets. And 7. Grow access to cycling and micromobility to reduce car trips.
It is such an honor to be here today at this event hosted by our next mayor. My name is Amy Cohen, and I am the co-founder of Families for Safe Streets. It's been 8 long, heartbreaking years since my 12-year-old son, Sammy, was killed in front of our home. One of the first encounters I had after Sammy died was confronting Senator Chuck Schumer, who lives only blocks from our home, and screaming at him about the speeding cars barreling down the street beside us just blocks from where Sammy had been killed. Senator Schumer gave me his card and offered to meet with me and offered to meet with our family. And at that meeting, he was so incredibly kind. So it's my honor today to introduce Senator Schumer to speak. As you heard from Karen, we need help from all levels of government if we are to end the bloodshed on our streets. Senator, we are grateful for your leadership on the bipartisan infrastructure deal, and we are counting on you to help get the Biden administration to adopt Vision Zero and implement a national zero traffic deaths policy. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Let me thank Amy, who now I have worked with for over 8 years after that terrible tragedy. And it always reminded me as I rode my bicycle right by 3rd Street to see the shrine for Sammy and the picture of Sammy. And it just stuck in my heart and stays in my heart. I want to thank Rita and Karen for their courageous and tremendous and articulate and meaningful words. They spoke with passion, they spoke with truth, they spoke truth to power. So thank you both for doing that. And I want to mention just some of the other names here of the family members who have lost loved ones through these tragedies. Fabiola Mendieta Quopio, Julie Huntington, Sandra Voss, Debbie Kahn, Kate Brockwell, Rebecca Sonnen. I mentioned Rita Baravecchio and Aaron Canna Paras, Mary Beth Kelly, and Robin Middleman Phillip. I also want to mention these great organizations who are here, who have done so much. Transportation Alternatives, Families for State Streets, and a new group that I've become familiar with and taken up the cause of, Los Deliveristas, who are here. These are the people who ride bikes and deliver our food to us, and I believe it is 19 have been lost.
19, yes.
Yes, 19 of these deliveristas, these hardworking people, so many of them immigrants, who are just trying to earn a living and are treated so badly, have lost their lives as well. We also have a good number of our council people here, and please raise your hands, I don't want to miss anybody. We have Lincoln, we have Mercedes, we have Chi, we have Sandy, we have Julie, Crystal, I didn't see you there, Crystal, who are here as well. Is that Rita? Yes. Rita, she always wears the mask. Who did I miss? I got everybody, okay. These are a great new group of council people. It's the most diverse, progressive, group of council people, a majority women that we've ever seen, and I know they're going to do great things to help this organization. Okay, so let me just say a few words here because I'm honored to be here. You know, first I want to thank all of those who have lost loved ones and are here. When something as horrible as this happens, the natural human reaction is what they call curse the darkness. Get angry, deservedly so, turn inward, and sort of let your life fold under itself. But what's saint-like, that's what the scriptures tell us, is to light a candle. No one will ever bring these people back. No one will ever bring the 1,800 people who are so beautiful. And look at the names and the diversity and everything else. No one will ever bring them back. But these people are beautifully, wonderfully saintly. And all of you out there, I saw people holding pictures. It's just touching to see you. They are fighting, they're lighting that candle so it won't, what so tragically befell one of their loved ones will not befall others. That's a beautiful thing, and they all deserve a round of applause and thanks for us. That's a beautiful thing. You know, as a society, we used to treat these things as, quote, accidents. Isolated events that were uncontrollable. But they are not accidents and they are not uncontrollable. It's sort of like cancer 100 years ago. They said, oh, there's nothing you can do, let people die. But people worked and worked and worked and found a cure, and now there are lots of cancer survivors, my wife included, who are living. We can do the same thing here. This is preventable. We can find the cure, if you will. And the cure is the 7 steps here and all of the help that we can get at all 3 levels of government. So I want to thank you for that. I promised to help you at the federal level. I worked very hard as majority leader to get $10 billion in the BIF bill for $5 billion for transportation alternatives and $5 billion for safe streets for all. And I promise the groups here, the money on the shelf does no good, and money from being spent by a bureaucrat who doesn't know the issues does no good. I will work with all of you to make sure the regulations as to how to spend this money are done the right way, the effective way, to save the most lives possible. That's my commitment and promise to everybody here. The law was just signed, and they'll begin writing the regulations, and I will be with you all the way to do that. So let's just say the number 239 is 239 too many. That's the number of people killed on our streets this year. But if we work at it, if we don't get discouraged, even when there are barriers in the way and logs in the path, when we keep at it, we can win, because we can get to 0 deaths on our streets. We know how to do it. The resources are beginning to come in, and we will get this done for the sake of unknown hundreds of thousands who could lose their lives in the future if we don't do what we have to do starting now. Thank you, everybody.
Will you sign the pledge? Thank you, Senator Schumer. And thank you for being the first elected official representing New York to sign our pledge to get Vision Zero back on track. Thank you very much, Senator.
Andrew Bernardis is here, and I apologize. There he is. And I apologize for leaving. It's my grandson's 3rd birthday party at 3:45.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
You want to keep him safe, right?
On behalf of Family for Safe Streets, we can't express enough how important it is to have the team Mayor-elect Eric Adams stand with us and recommit our cities to Vision Zero.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Lynch. I'm the Chief of Staff to Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams and Mayor-elect. And on behalf of him, I want to invite to welcome you all to Borough Hall on this commemoration of this year's World Day of Remembrance. I want to say thank you to everyone that's here, to the advocates, Families for Safe Streets, Transportation Alternatives, Los Deliveristas, Senator Schumer, who has done such a great job at this federal level advocating for these issues, State Senator Gennardis, and all the incoming council members that are here today. I look forward to working with you all, and the Borough President and Mayor-elect us as well, to recommitting to Vision Zero and to ensuring that these 7 steps are not forgotten, and we're advancing them in a meaningful and fast and immediate way. As I look upon this incredible and heartbreaking backdrop behind us, it's a stark reminder that we have to do more and we must do more to curb the loss due to traffic violence. Today, we honor the memory of those we have lost and recommit our efforts to build a city that makes these horrific tragedies a thing of the past. That means building the infrastructure that creates an environment where we prioritize people over moving cars as fast as possible through our communities, and committing to and supporting the pledge that Families for Safe Streets and TAA have outlined here today. Doing so will not just make our communities more livable, but will save countless lives and end countless serious injuries. It will move more people out of cars and into sustainable transportation options like walking, cycling, and transit that are far less likely to cause serious harm or death. And we have to do this immediately. We've seen too much pain and tragedy to not. And to the advocates here today, Families for Safe Streets in particular, I thank you for turning your pain into purpose, for never ceasing to fight for people who may never know you, just so they don't have to join a group that no one wants to join. But as we continue to build out the safer street infrastructure that make our streets more livable, fair, and safe for all users, we must do more to honor the victims and their loved ones of traffic crashes. So this is why I'm happy to announce today that upon assuming office, the Mayor-elect will direct the Department of Parks and Recreation to establish a tree memorial, Remembrance Grove, to create a sanctuary for families of those who have lost loved ones, and as well as to never forget their memories. So on behalf of Mayor-elect Adams, I thank you all for your work you do every day, and we commit to working with you to ensure that we build a city for all to live, work, and recreate safely without fear of death and serious injury. Thank you again for everything.
had no idea that traffic violence was a public health crisis until it happened to my mother. Too many of us here today know this nightmare.
Who here today lost a parent like Karen did? Raise your hand, your signs, your photos, as I acknowledge you. Who lost a child? Raise your hand, your signs, your photos. Who lost a sibling? A partner or spouse? Another relative? A friend? Who here was injured? We hear you. We see you. We honor you and your loved ones and your injuries. We commit to the full life-saving potential of Vision Zero. We demand the dignity of safe passage to school and work and home again for every single New Yorker. Together, we plant seeds for safe streets. We have now come to perhaps the most painful part of our program. We will read names. We will read the names of everyone killed so far this year. And these are only the people we know about. It is horrific. Please come up if you are reading names. While we get organized, I want to share that when we read the names, some names will be read as unknown. It is not that the person who was killed has not been identified. Unknown only means that the person's name has not been shared publicly by the media or authorities. To our elected officials participating in the name reading, we ask you to sign our pledge board after you have read the names. Before we begin, please repeat after me. Today we mourn.
Today we mourn.
Today we remember.
Today we remember.
Today we demand life-saving solutions.
Today we demand life-saving solutions.
Today we plant seeds for safe streets.
Today we plant seeds for safe streets.
To begin the reading of names, starting with January.
Jimmy here? Do we have Jimmy? No? Yeah. Thank you, Karen and Rita, for your stories. Amy, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Mary Bartza. 10 months ago and 21 days ago, my mom, Ava, was in the crosswalk near her home when a driver cut a corner and killed her. An 18-year-old driver with a probationary license, driving an enormous Jeep Gladiator pickup truck, lots of power in inexperienced hands. Mom personified grace, warmth, humility, and kindness. She escaped from communist Hungary when she was young and overcame huge obstacles to build a life with my father in the US. Her travails fostered a spirit of gratitude for everything life has to offer. She became a teacher and shared with so many her love of geology, languages, and fun ways to do math. People gravitated to her. She was so much fun to be with. My sister, who's here today, she and I are working hard to keep her memory alive and her grandson's. A beautiful, cool spring day stands out in my memory when she lovingly dug in the dirt of their yard and showed my then 3-year-old where to plant petunias and impatiens so they would get enough light. Today I'm reading the names of people killed in New York City for the month of January in memory of my dear mom, Ava. For all those personally impacted in a crash, we plant these seeds for safe streets and demand action in their name. Name unknown, motorist, age 60. Donovan Gibbon, motorist, age 57. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 40. Yoshi Balaban, pedestrian, age 4. Chang Wang, other motorist, age 26. Dylan Moreno, motorist, age 16. Juan Licargo Cruz, cyclist, age 29. Name unknown, motorist, age 74. Seung Choi, pedestrian, age 86. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 81. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 60. Name unknown, motorist, age 23. Miao Ling Kwan, pedestrian, age 52. Mike Agurkis, pedestrian, age 51. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 84. James Michael Mack, motorist, age 42. Total number of people injured this month, at least 3,060. Thank you.
My name is Mercedes Narcisse. I represent District 46, which is a transportation desert place. But it is time to reimagine, reinvent who we are as a city. And listening to those names as a parent myself, a mom, a sister, and who has family, is very saddening to me. And it is time for us to do the right thing for the city, the greatest city in the world. The name is Tamar Road, age 64. Name unknown, like we said, has a name, age 20. Name unknown, age 54, pedestrian, has a name. Kamel Mahmoud, age 72, has a name. Kausar Akun, motorist, age 68, has a name. Name unknown, motorist, age 70, has a name. Michael Williams, pedestrian, age 45, has a name. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 73, has a name. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 84, has a name. Shaman Fried, pedestrian, age 6, his name. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 31, has a name. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 32. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arlene Soto, and on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020, my brother Jose Luis Gondla, at the age 26, was killed on the way to work by a reckless and heartless driver. Jose was a young man with what I truly believe a promising future along his side. His wife, who now a widow, stands alongside me this afternoon. My brother, Jose, was a young and ambitious man who worked full-time and went to school full-time, studying criminal justice to accomplish one of his many dreams, to become a lawyer. When I'm asked what my brother was like, I usually describe Jose as a fearless young man with a strong personality who would take nonsense from anyone, but with a giant teddy bear heart. Jose was a young, free spirit who loved to take adventures with his loved ones when the opportunity was presented to him. I remember as children, our uncle would take us to the park for some afternoon barbecue at the beach. Jose would swim for hours, letting out all his energy, escaping some hardships back home. Unfortunately, I will never know what adventures we would have lived or the goals he would have accomplished because his life was cut short by someone who till this day have not been brought to justice. Today, I'm reading the names of the people killed in NYC for the month of February, in memory of my brother Jose Luis Gondla and for those personally impacted in a crash. We plant the seed for safe streets and demand action in their name.
Thank you. No, that's okay. She read
Yeah?
the names
Okay.
already. Luana?
Do you want me to read the names too?
Just, we'll figure it out. Sorry.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Luana Green. And 20 years ago, my 16-year-old brother, Ronald Green, was killed by a hit-and-run driver on Northern Boulevard. Ronald was a funny, you hold up his picture. Ronald was a funny guy. He was a singer, a dancer, a martial artist. His favorite artist was Michael Jackson and Bruce Lee. He was always coming over to show us his latest moves and his latest dance and his latest martial arts, stances. And he was a good student, a funny brother, and like the glue to our family. In addition to that, he went to aviation high school, and he wanted to be an airline pilot, an Air Force pilot, just like his brother, my other brother, who's in the Marines. When Ronald got killed, it turned our whole family around. My great-grandmother, who raised us early in our lives, died shortly after hearing the news that he died. Although my mom had 5 children, she was so devastated by the loss that she became mentally ill. I became depressed and started to heavily use drugs to suppress the depression. Even after 30 years, you can see it still has an effect on you. I became depressed and deeply involved in the drug scene. And can you imagine, excuse me, did I do that?
No, it's okay. Just keep going.
Imagine getting a call at 2 o'clock in the morning to tell you that your younger brother died. Can you imagine going to the morgue to identify a body that's been trampled and mangled by a car? Can you imagine that that image never leaves your mind, ever? To add insult to injury, this is my brother Ed. Edward, you can come forth. You can take off your hat. Edward was also a victim of a hit and run. Fortunately, he didn't die, but it left him with severe injuries. He had 2 brain surgeries and 30 days in the hospital. They thought he was gonna be a vegetable, but thank God, God had other plans for his life, and he's here today, walking and talking. So I just wanna say that today I am reading the names of people killed in New York City for the month of March, for my 2 siblings, and for all of those who are personally impacted in a crash. We plant these seeds for safe streets and demand action in their names. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Assemblymember Joanne Simon, and I will be reading the names for March. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 75. Kimberly Ortega, pedestrian, age 24. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 92. Name unknown, motorist, age 92. Nasreen Gundal, motorist, age 31. Estelle Davis, pedestrian, age 61. Gregory Holmes, motorist, age 58. Karen Diaz, motorist, age 30. Name unknown, motorist, age 42. Oscar Holford, pedestrian, age 38. Jaipal Prasad, pedestrian, age 55. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 65. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 61. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 72. Debbie Friedman, pedestrian, age 64. The total number of people injured this month, at least 3,479.
Marcia?
Greetings, my name is Marcia Landis. On July 2nd, 2014, my two daughters, Joey and Charlie, and myself were struck by a hit-and-run driver. Unfortunately, Joey died on impact that day. She spent her days dancing and enjoying her friends. Her heart was open and kind. Most of all, Joey was kind spirit. She was loved. She was a stellar student, a disciplined performer, a loving daughter, someone's best friend. She was more than someone. She was someone unforgettable. My last memory of her was visualizing her beautiful body engulfed in a weeping willow tree. Right before we were struck, I imagined the tree is no longer a tree, but the tree turned into a beautiful wings of angels. It brings me comfort that she is at peace and safe. Today, I surround my home with my daughter Charlie with plants to remind us of her spirit. Until we meet again, Mommy loves you. Mommy miss you. Today we read the names of people killed in New York City for the month of April. For all of the personal impact by crashes, we plant these trees, seeds for safe streets, and demand action for their names. We are survivors. Please, this is off script, but it was devastating, but I have to say that we fought. Amy is phenomenal. We met her. Joey's actually the third student from MS-51 in an 18-month period that was hit by a car. And because of this, Amy decided to start this organization. I am not a leader, but she is a leader, and it brings me comfort that someone can speak for people like me and Charlie. Thank you.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Marcia and Charlie, for losing your Joey. You know, they call it Vision Zero, but they don't mean it. 1,800 fatalities tell a very different story over these 8 years. And it is time. There are many intractable problems in our city, but this ain't one of them. It's a question of political will and resources, and I'm honored to sign this pledge and do everything I can in the council to prevent avoidable deaths on our streets. In April, we lost almost a person a day and suffered over 4,000 injuries. That's somebody getting hurt every 10 minutes of every hour of every day. It's not right. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 23. Kathy Koblenz, pedestrian, age 73. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 97. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 43. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 59. Lewis Reed, cyclist, age 64. Name unknown, motorist, age 53. Angel Aguilar Duran, pedestrian, age 52. Name unknown, motorist, age 57. Christina Cora, motorist, age 18. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 72. Hing Chung, pedestrian, age 71. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 33. Stanislaw Lorenk, motorist, age 45. Maria Zuardo, pedestrian, age 81. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 39. Name unknown, motorist, age 23. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 57. Name unknown, motorist, age 22. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 77. Name unknown, other motorist, age 30. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 23. Name unknown, motorist, age 35. Name unknown, motorist, age 26. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 43. Jing Ling, motorist, age 37.
Sandra?
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra Voss, and today I'm honoring my brother-in-law. Today I'm honoring my brother-in-law, Charlie, who was killed on May 5th, 2020. Charlie was riding his bike near his home when a driver hit him head-on, killing him almost instantly. It was less than 3 weeks before his 28th birthday. Charlie was always getting us to join him on challenging outdoor adventures, initiating silly games, and reminding us to take advantage of every moment. He made everything fun, from terrifying backcountry skiing through the forest to cutting down the annual Christmas tree. Because his life was cut short so senselessly, I will never get to be an aunt to the children he might have had, and we will never witness what an amazing uncle we know he would have been to our future children. We will never know how many more mountains he would have climbed, or what kinds of silly new inside jokes we would have invented together. Today I'm reading the names of people killed in New York City for the month of May, in memory of Charlie. For all those personally impacted in a crash, we plant these seeds for safe streets, and we demand action in their name. Name unknown, motorist, age 33. Huang Yu Huang, pedestrian, age 62. Carlos Bermeo Guzman, motorist, age 21. Name unknown, other motorist, age 43. Nu Quoc Tran, Peter, pedestrian, age 29. Name unknown, motorist, age 32. Khaled Mike Mosley, pedestrian, age 49. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 20. Name unknown, motorist, age 29. Matthew Jensen, pedestrian, age 58. Maureen Fraser, pedestrian, age 74. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 73. Name unknown, motorist, age 22. Name unknown, motorist, age 24. Nenyi Saki, motorist, age 46. Wayne Reed, pedestrian, age 52.
Sandra, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm Julie Menon, an incoming city council member, and as a mother, I just want to say my heart breaks for the pain and suffering you all have gone through, and please know how deeply committed we are to making Vision Zero actually be what it was supposed to be, which is reclaiming our streets. I'm going to read the rest of the names. Name unknown, motorist, age 25. Name unknown, motorist, age 30. Name unknown, motorist, age 32. Lepardma Desai, pedestrian, age 82. Marcelo Pelez, pedestrian, age 46. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 46. Lee Ren, cyclist, age 58. Sharami Nunez, motorist, age 25. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 69. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 34. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 39. Kelly Killian, pedestrian, age 54. Name unknown, age 36. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 31. Name unknown, motorist, age 38. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 70. And the total number of people injured during the month of May, at least 4,911.
Christopher?
Hello. Hello. My name is Christopher Breimer. This is my son, Bennett Williamson. We are here because my husband of 44 years and his father, Jeff Williamson, was run over by a mail truck on June 29th. I won't bore you with the details of what a remarkable man Jeff Williamson was, but I do want to report that on Friday, I attended the arraignment of his killer, whose name is Sergei Alexeyev. The district attorney offered Mr. Alexeyev a plea bargain. He was offered a 6-month suspension of his driver's license, a $750 fine, and an intervention program where he will be taught how to drive more mindfully. My husband was run over by a man who reported that he saw nothing at the corner of Central Park and 86th Street. My husband was in the bike lane. He was going north. So was the postal driver. And the guy turned right and ran over my husband in the middle of the intersection. He was killed instantly. But this man saw nothing. There is no reason why somebody who is such a careless driver should continue to be allowed to drive the streets of New York. Today, I am reading the names of people killed in New York City for the month of June in the memory of Jeffrey Williamson. For all those personally impacted in a crash, we plant these seeds for safe streets and demand action in their name. David Piet, pedestrian, age 44. Lisa Baines, pedestrian, age 65. Darwin Duranzo, cyclist, age 16. Name unknown, motorist, age 18. Andres Guzman Mejia, motorist, age 27. Name unknown, motorist, age 36. Jianhua Li, cyclist, age 56.
Name unknown, pedestrian, aged 57. Name unknown, motorist, age 47. Name unknown, motorist, age 53. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 52. Name unknown, motorist, age 31. Jose Calo, pedestrian, age 91. Name unknown, cyclist, age 30. Christina Walker, motorist, age 25. Jose Garcia Cruz, motorist, age 36. Name unknown, motorist, age 49. Name unknown, motorist, age 25. Powell Bosick, motorist, age 37. Insuk Roll, pedestrian, age 58. Name unknown, motorist, age 23. Name unknown, motorist, age 32. And yeah, well, I'm going to read the name of my father. Thank you very much. Jeffrey Williamson, cyclist, age 71. I'll stop for a moment, hand off to the senator.
Bennett.
In the meantime, I've been a paramedic in the city of New York for 15 years, and my blood is red with people I've seen crushed and killed over the years. I just never expected to have to pull the tube out of my own father's body in St. Luke's on that day. Thank you very much.
The total number of people injured this month, at least 4,963.
Julie? Oh, Frederick comes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frederick Williams, and I want to start out by showing a picture of Brandon Davis. This is my friend. We're both transplants from North Carolina, Goldsboro, North Carolina. We attended high school together. I graduated in 96, him 98. We were members of the marching band. We went off to college together, North Carolina A&T State University. So I met Brandy when he was 14, and we just so happened to end up being roommates in New York. We live in Brooklyn, and we shared a space together on Madison Street in Bed-Stuy. And I'll put him away now because he's a little bit shyer than I am. But I bought this picture because he loved fashion. He loved fashion. July 29th started out like a regular day. He left the house. He was a slim fella, so I watched him slide around the kitchen table. I can't do that as easy as he does. And he said, "Goodbye, Frederick." And he went off to work. He walked down the street a couple of blocks over. He walked that street every day. As a matter of fact, during the pandemic, because he loved fashion and he always wanted to remain sample size, he walked every day. So he knew the streets very well. And with him walking, he met a lot of people. He would do a lot of good deeds. He would run errands, play numbers, go to medical appointments with our older neighbors. So he was really loved. And I didn't know how much he was loved until he died. So as he crossed the street on July 29th at 1:14, he was hit by a 19-year-old unlicensed driver on Marcus Garvey and Madison Street. So I'm sitting at my desk, the doorbell rings, a neighbor comes over. I thought it was an ordinary visit, but she said Brandon got hit by a car. I got to the scene at 1:24 and I watched him breathe unnormal. I thought that it was him doing it, but I didn't realize at the time that he was struggling for his life. So I say that Brandon was hit on July 29th, and I say that he also died on August 1st, but in reality, Brandon was dead at the scene. I called his parents. We were friends from North Carolina, so it was easy to talk to them. But I asked them to come and visit. They had never been to New York before. They had never been to his space. They had never seen his apartment. They didn't know much about his New York life, and they had to learn it all in one setting. And they also had to watch him die in the hospital. I've been to a lot of funerals in my lifetime, so I always was just lucky enough to see them there. But I never seen the back end of it. I never seen a mom grieve like that. I have never seen a mother scream so loud after seeing her son in the hospital because he was fighting for his life. I had never seen any of that. I consider myself to be lucky because he's my friend. I grieve for all of you because he wasn't my son, he wasn't my partner. He was my friend, but it's hard to go home and see the space that we shared together and have to condense it and collapse it down to just one single space and having to throw or remove or give or ship his things away. I felt a little guilty because I had often daydreamed about having my own space, but I didn't want it like this. I always thought as a vehicle of something beautiful and shiny, something that you finance for a lot of us, and that you put a lot of money in for maintenance, but I never thought of it as a weapon. I didn't know that you could be killed by a vehicle. I didn't understand that an adult could be murdered in the streets of New York. See, Brandon was scared to commute by bike, and he was also very careful of other means of transportation, but he didn't give a second thought to what it meant for him to commute by foot. So now every day that I go out, I try to keep in mind of what it means to have to be vigilant. And when I'm asking for the administration or the change of guard that's coming up for the new leaders in Brooklyn to do, I voted for you. I like him. What I want them to do is put the same idea into what it means to keep us safe from terrorism and COVID-19. Do something about these vehicles, because for some reason, folks who drive in New York, not to compare to North Carolina, because I'm a resident here, so I don't do all that, but it's like they kind of do it their own way. So for all those personally impacted by those who've been murdered in the streets, my heart goes out to you. It's a persistent thought that happens every day, and it's one that will remain with me. Again, I consider myself to be lucky because his mom and his dad, they grieve every day. The best thing we can do, the best thing I can do, is champion for Brandon and the others and speak their names for it to serve as a reminder for our leadership to do something so it doesn't happen again. Thank you so much.
Hi there, my name is Crystal Hudson. I am an incoming council member in District 35 here in Brooklyn. And, you know, oftentimes we use statistics to paint a picture, but these are more than statistics. These are people, and these are personal stories. So thank you all for sharing and coming out time and time again and retelling your stories. Thank you. Name unknown, motorist, age 22. Eliome Zamora Castillo, cyclist, age 67. Name unknown, motorist, age 20. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 54. Borkit Ula, cyclist, age 24. Name unknown, motorist, age 42. Caroline Connors, pedestrian, age 67. Anthony Watts, pedestrian, age 46. Name unknown, motorist, age 52. Otis Perkins, motorist, age 39. Evelisa Santos Paulino, motorist, age 33. Antoinette Turrigiano, pedestrian, age 85. Name unknown, motorist, age 30. Jose Flores Sanchez, pedestrian, age 29. Joseph Edlon, motorist, age 34. Federico Zaput Palas, other motorist, age 27. Name unknown, motorist, age 32. Isabella Grenobles, motorist, age 10. Diana Grenobles, motorist, age 31. Name unknown, motorist, age 41. Jean-Louis, pedestrian, age 52. Steve Johnson, motorist, age 29. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 52. Bhagwan Shri Chawala, motorist, age 32. Louis Aker, motorist, age 39. Ibrahim Azizov, cyclist, age 24. Name unknown, motorist, age 48. And the total number of people injured this month, at least 4,721.
Thank you. The readers for August.
Hi everyone, my name is Patricia Morin Fuller, and my son Andre Fuller, my only child, was killed on August 14th on Oyton Fulton. He was just 2 blocks from his job. He was just coming from work to go to the Long Island Railroad to come home to Queens. He was killed by He was killed by a motorist who ran over him on his e-scooter. He died that very night at the DeKalb Hospital, and I couldn't find him for 1 week. I was searching. I called the hospital. I go to all the precincts in this area. Every night I would leave work, I would come down and walk the streets just to find him, but nobody had any information. the very hospital where he was. I called there just about every night. I know something was wrong. Andre was my only child, and he was my life. Since the day he was born, so incidentally, he was also born at the Methodist Hospital, just a few minutes away. So he was born and died just in the same area, and they also work in the same area. I was a single mother, and I raised him. I was a survivor of domestic violence, and I took my son and raised him all alone. I didn't kill him. I make sure I protected him. I gave him a good education, but also he was a free spirit. I let him choose what he wanted. He was an artist. He had just started his job. After the pandemic shut down, he just started back his job as a tattoo artist. His shop was on 255 Livingston Street, just around the corner from here. He had just left his job to come home when he was killed. He was his own boss. He loved being his own boss. He loved being able to give back to the community by creating jobs for others and giving them a chance. He was on his way home from work on the morning of August 14th when he was struck and killed. He was struck and killed by a person who was visiting from Texas. They had just gone out drinking and eating and was leaving the next morning back to Texas. He was not arrested because he did not have enough alcohol that would classify him drunk. He was drinking. You collide with my son. You were drunk. You was drunk if you didn't see him. He was run over. My son died of lack of air. The vehicle was on my son's body. His death report says he died from asphyxiation. There was nothing said to me by the police. There was nothing. He was just another person killed. They didn't even talk to me. They don't talk to me. I talked to detective twice in August. They don't want to talk. They never call me back. And so I have to live with this grief of grieving my only child. My son loved the city, and he would say to me, Mom, downtown Brooklyn, actually he used to do swimming just around the corner on 3rd Avenue. I would take him. I used to live in Brooklyn. I now live in Queens. He would go swimming on 3rd Avenue at the YMCA and would just go around the corner every morning for breakfast. It's so coincidental. He was born, he worked, everything we did was around this area, and that's where he died. He loved downtown Brooklyn. He said, Mom, downtown Brooklyn is just like the city now. They're tall buildings. He said he was so comfortable. Today sorry, can't see. Andre will never live to see his dreams, his full dreams being fulfilled. He did help everyone that he come in contact with. He was such a gentle soul. I buried my only son. I didn't know that. I never dreamt that he would die. Yes, I know people die, but this was not part of my my thoughts. I will celebrate this first Thanksgiving without him, Christmas and New Year. I don't know how that will be, but I'm kind of not looking forward to it. Andre came to live with me 3 years ago when I myself was hit by a vehicle. And during all this time, I didn't even remember that I was hit also by a vehicle in Queens coming from work at the crosswalk. He came to stay when I did surgery, and then the pandemic, and he just stayed. So, I'm thankful to God for letting him come back to my home for the last 3 years of his life. because those were good memories. Thank you so much. All I need is your prayer, because I know that, I fear God, and I always ask God, why did you do this to me? It's okay to ask God and to be angry, because there's nothing else that you can do. I'm helpless. So I just ask God, give me the strength to go from day to day. I'm a school teacher. I raised my son, I trained my son, but I couldn't go back to work just to see the kids again. It's so many memories. So right now I'm trying to switch my careers to something else, so the memory wouldn't haunt me every day, and I'm trying and I'm praying, so I'm asking you all to pray for me. My name is Patricia, and I need all the prayers that I can get. Thank you.
My name is Elizabeth Culkin, and I'm the principal of PS 176 in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. I'm here today with Alicia, the mother of one of our children, Tammy Kuma Gosh, who was killed in a crash just a few months ago on August 24th. Tammy was a kindergarten child in our school, graduated from kindergarten and on her way to first grade. She was an amazing child, warm and welcoming to her classmates. Her eyes would sparkle and shine as the children played, building their castles, boats, and airplanes with blue blocks in the hallways outside their classrooms. You could hear their belly laughs as their joy and laughter was contagious. Tammy was loving, kind, and sweet. She loved to play in the 13th Avenue schoolyard on the jungle gym, where she would be able to ride on the slide, to have a go on the monkey bars. At 6 years old, Tammy was invincible. The world awaited Tammy's dreams, her discoveries, and wonders of all that life had to share. We need to come together to prevent tragedies from happening. We can do this. If one kind deed can change the world, let us be the change makers and rally behind Families for Safe Streets, to be our voices to say never again. We have the technology to do this. Let's make it happen. For all of those personally impacted in a crash, we plant these seeds for safe streets and demand change. Thank you.
Thank you too for sharing your stories, and I'm sorry for your losses. My name is Chiose. I'm the council member-elect for the 36th Councilmatic District, and I just wanted to share before I read the names of August that in the month of October, my mother got into a bike accident on a tight street where a car was in the bike lane. She suffered from bruises on her face and a concussion, and listening to all the stories here today, I'm realizing that she's one of the lucky ones, which is wrong. So signing these 7 steps is personal to me, and I will read the rest of the names for August. Name unknown, motorist, age 77. David Fuller Gist, motorist, age 31. Name unknown, motorist, age 57. Vera Schneider, pedestrian, age 91. Alam Gonzalez Mosquea, motorist, age 29. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 36. Name unknown, motorist, age 23. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 20. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 54. Name unknown, motorist, age 45. Name unknown, motorist, age 35. Name unknown, other motorist, age 29. Name unknown, motorist, age 27.
Good afternoon. I'm State Senator Andrew Gennardis from Southern Brooklyn. February 28th, 1954 was the day that my grandmother lost her 12-year-old daughter in a car crash. And the pain of that loss still stays with my family generations later. Since I've been in office, I've had to attend the vigils of at least 12 of my constituents who have been killed by traffic violence. Jose in my district, and Tammy just a few months ago, also in my district. So in their memories and in their names, we're going to continue to read the names of all those we've lost in the month of August. Name unknown pedestrian, age 90. Name unknown motorist, age 18. Tariq Aziz, other motorist, age 26. Name unknown motorist, age unknown. Name unknown pedestrian, age 52. Name unknown pedestrian, age 69. Name unknown motorist, age 35. Name unknown pedestrian, age 61. Name unknown pedestrian, age 54. Name unknown motorist, age 45. Name unknown motorist, age 21. And name unknown pedestrian, age 43. The total number of people injured in the month of August that we know of, at least 4,754.
Good evening. My name is Sigdaline Colon, and I'm here on the representative of Los Celebristas Unidos. I am here to our support to the families that have lost. I basically, and with my colleagues, have been the ones that when a delivery worker died, when making a delivery to many of your houses. To read the names that we're gonna read you are people that die working. They came here to this country to fight for their lives, for a dream, and they found the unfortunate situation of losing their lives while they were making deliveries. Many of you do this every day, so we want here to honor their names and to plant the seeds for the city to be different. Plant the seeds to honor and to make sure that everybody that leaves their home return home when they're working.
Hi, my name is Gustavo from Los Celebristas Unidos, and hello. Oh, and I just want to say thank you for this great event, and this is really good to me because this is my first time. I think this is happening every year, but we are here for first time, and then there is a lot of things happening on the street, so we have to work together to make the street safe all around New York City. We're gonna read the name of our brothers, the libristas who died. They got killed on the street when they doing delivery work. Tomás Panto Chiti, he got killed in was at Queens, October 11. Babacar Dia, the librista who killed in Queens, New York. Jose Garcia, 30 years old, he got killed in Manhattan, September 10.
Tarek Aziz, deliberista de Brooklyn, agosto 27 del 2021. Federico Saput Palax, de 27 años, deliberista de Brooklyn. Barkot Uyat, de solo 24 años, deliberista de Manhattan.
Hi, Shing Long Lin, he was at 37 years old, restaurant worker, killed in Astoria, April 29. Luis Alvaro Hernandez, 25 years old, delivery worker, killed in Flatbush, Brooklyn, April 24. Francisco Villalba Vitinho, 29 years old, DoorDash worker, killed in March 29 in East Harlem. Okay, look, I'm here also. My name is Rafael Islas. I'm a member of one of the members of my family died like on September. It was Noe Amador. I'm here to honor his memory. It's really, really bad. Like, I feel like really sad talking about this because like, this is not the first time. Like, I'm here 11 years, like already 11 years, like working in deliveries. I remember that day when somebody called me and told me that some of my friends had an accident in Astoria. Then when I get there and I saw his bike, like his motorcycle, on the side of the street, I couldn't believe it at first because like he was like a hardworking man. Like he got two beautiful daughters in Mexico. He was trying to take care of them. And then when I saw him, like, I mean, I didn't saw him that day because like, they take him right away to the hospital and he died over there. After 30 minutes, they called us and told us that he passed away. And I couldn't believe it because like he never was racing in the street. A driver that they making a U-turn, an illegal U-turn, and my cousin got hit. I don't know what's gonna happen after. Like, now I'm doing deliveries all the time and I feel scared to go out. I don't know if that day I'm gonna come back to my house. When I got home sometimes and I saw the chair that he was sitting down all the time and he's not there, I feel like I don't know what's gonna happen with us, like with all of my friends over here. Like, we actually hard working, like, all right, so it's hard for me. And we demand, sorry about that. We demand actions, and just to finish all this, like we don't gonna, I don't want it to assist another like things like that and like see another of my families in the street dying because of like Hercules drivers in the street.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Buenos noches. My name is Sandy Nurse. I'm going to be representing the 37th district starting in September. I just want to thank you all for inviting me here and allowing me to be sharing in community with you. And thank you to all the families who have shown so much strength in asking for very basic things that they shouldn't have to fight for. And as a former food delivery worker and a former biker who's earned my living by biking, I stand with you and I'm very sorry for your loss. I'm going to read the names for September. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 62. Name unknown, motorist, age 52. Name unknown, cyclist, age 30. Name unknown, motorist, age 42. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 58. Name unknown, motorist, age 19. Name unknown, motorist, age 48. No Amador Ricona, motorist, age 31. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 0. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 73. Name unknown, motorist, age 19. Name unknown, cyclist, age 28. Name unknown, motorist, age 56. Name unknown, motorist, age 70. Andreas Marino, motorist, age 22nd. Name unknown, motorist, age 34. Kanan Martin, motorist, age 23. Babacar Dia, cyclist, age 44. Dimitri Manero, pedestrian, age 38. Karina Lopez, pedestrian, age 31. Rahel Guindi, pedestrian, age 90. Name unknown, motorist, age unknown. Name unknown, motorist, age unknown. Name unknown, motorist, age unknown. And the total number of people injured in the month of September is at least 4,644 people.
Hi, my name is Amy Tam Lau. I'm the mother of Allison Lau, who was killed as a toddler in 2013. I want to read a statement from baby Appeline's dad, who couldn't be here because of medical reasons. Appeline, our 3-month-old baby daughter who was struck on the sidewalk together with her mother and father by a reckless driver who is currently out of jail despite having nearly 100 unpaid traffic violations. May Appeline's soul rest in peace. We hope that her loss won't remain just a number, but that the new mayor-elect, Eric Adams, will take concrete actions so that no more families have to endure the pain of losing a child in New York City streets. From the parents of Appeline.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rita Joseph. I'm the incoming council member for District 40. I'm also an educator who lost a student on May 18, 2009. His name was Kyle Francis. I will read the name of, and again, families, I'm so sorry for your loss. We will work to make sure that we are no longer here doing this. Name unknown, pedestrian, age unknown. Doris Torres, motorist, age 16. Felipe Fisher, other motorist, age 39. Roberto Autofaro, motorist, age 32. Elizabeth Hyman, pedestrian, age 81. Name unknown, cyclist, age unknown. Name unknown, motorist, age 38. Name unknown, cyclist, age 45. Thomas Ponto, cyclist, age 32. Peter Tassay, pedestrian, age 35. Name unknown, other motorist, age 29. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 56. Name unknown, pedestrian, age unknown. Name unknown, pedestrian, age unknown. Name unknown, motorist, age 22. Joshua Dixon Taylor, motorist, age 24. Name unknown, motorist, age 42. Fidel Trinidad, cyclist, age 55. Samuel Geraci, motorist, age 51. Jamel Boyd, pedestrian, age 33. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 63. Name unknown, pedestrian, age unknown. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 58. Autumn Garrison, pedestrian, age 2. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 51. Total number of people injured this month, at least 4,725. We have a lot of work to do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lizzie Rahman. My son, Asif Rahman, died on Queens Boulevard on February 28, 2008, by a reckless truck driver. Asif was only 22 years old. He was a poet, a rapper, and he wanted to be a music teacher. He loved to ride his bicycle, and whenever I showed my concerns, he assured me, "Ma, don't worry, there are bike lanes everywhere." But when I visited his crash site after his death, I was surprised to see there was no bike lane on this boulevard of death. From that day on, I promised to get a bike lane on Queens Boulevard so that no other parents would go through the same pain as I did. And it took us 13 years. I never imagined it would take that long to get a bike lane on Queens Boulevard to save lives. We cannot wait for 13 years for every street of New York City to be designed to protect our kids. Today, I'm reading the names of people in New York City for the month of November in memory of my son, Asif Rahman, and Thanksgiving. He loved to eat pumpkin seeds on Thanksgiving. Now I grow pumpkins and think about my son. For all those who personally impacted in a crash, we plant pumpkin seeds for safe streets and demand action in their name.
Thank you so much, Lizzie. Good afternoon. My name is Julie Won, and I'm the incoming council member for District 26, which is in Western Queens. Hearing everyone's story just gives me flashbacks of 3 years ago when it was just like any other day. I was just sitting at my desk in front of a computer at work, and I got a phone call from my dad. And I could tell by his voice of panic and anxiety that something was wrong. And when I answered, he couldn't even say hello. And I asked him what happened. And he had let me know that my mom had gone on her way to work, and she was hit by a car with someone who was texting and driving on her right-of-way at a pedestrian light. 3 years later, I am fortunate enough to say that she is still with us. But 3 years later, my family is still paying $300 a month plus interest for her health costs for the 2 surgeries that she'd had to have because the driver's license and their insurance did not cover all of her medical needs. And now the onus is on us to cover her health costs. And for me to stand here with you, my heart sinks hearing story after story of every person who was loved and still is so dearly beloved to have lost their lives to such a tragedy of traffic violence. And for the helplessness that I felt when I got that phone call as my heart sank, my heart is with you because I know that your grief and your sorrow is so deep and it continues. But I know that all of us here are using that to make sure that no one else feels this helplessness. And I'm so grateful for my colleagues that stand here with me to say enough is enough. And it is our job to help our constituents. It is our job to protect our city, to say no to retroactive designs when life after life has to be lost, to say this intersection is not safe enough. The green paint on the streets are not safe enough, to say this is not enough. So we stand in solidarity with you to say that the work continues and we are here to fight with you. And I read the names of the lives lost in November. And also I want to honor Mr. Tu, who I'm going to name here because his life was recently lost, also a delivery worker who was hit by a driver who had a suspended license in my district this past month. Name unknown, motorist, age 34. Name unknown, motorist, age 24. Ching Tu, cyclist, age 58. Alex Rivera, motorist, age 23. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 69. Name unknown, motorist, age 46. Maybelline Jones, pedestrian, age 78. Luis Mendez, pedestrian, age 33. Khalid Rahman, pedestrian, age 69. Name unknown, pedestrian, age 56. Terrell Lumpkin, motorist, age 28. Name unknown, pedestrian, age unknown. And the total number of people injured this month so far are thousands and counting. And I thank you so much for reliving your trauma to do this work, because I know recalling the loss of the lives that you are grieving is not easy. So thank you so much for continuing to share your personal stories with us to make sure that this does not continue to happen in our city. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you.
My name is Mary Beth Kelly. I'm a co-founder of Families for Safe Streets. He was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my moon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever, but I was wrong. A.H. Auden. I read that poem 15 years ago at the memorial for my husband, Dr. Carl Henry Nacht. He was an internist who served the city of New York for decades, first in the Bronx and then in Manhattan. We were avid cyclists, and we had done thousands of miles together on our bikes. We took our children to school on them. We went to work on them. We traveled in other countries on them. But on a beautiful night in June in 2006, in an intersection where we had the right-of-way, a tow truck failed to yield and hit him. I'll never forget how long it took the ambulance to go 2 miles because of congestion. And I remember thinking, with all the horns honking and the sirens blaring, are these going to be the last sounds that my husband heard as he died? He loved this city, we loved this city, and we had a vision for it. And cycling in places like Copenhagen and Amsterdam, we said, oh my God, this is what New York could be. So when Henry died, a man who was as playful and as fun-loving and as loving as he was and a beloved physician, I had to do 3 things. I had to be there for my kids. I had to get back on my bike, and I had to turn to transportation alternatives and say, can I work with you? Because I'm not going to get through this by myself. I'm going to need to work with the only people who are doing anything about this epidemic of traffic violence, and I had no idea just how bad it really was until it happened to me. And that's how it goes, and that is probably true for almost everybody here. We learn about it too late. Why is that? Many reasons, but part of it is that we are all under the heel of a culture that is embedded and in love with the automobile, because it is fast, it is shiny, it shows who you are, it is convenient, but it is deadly. We have 3 million free parking spaces in this city. We have 6,300 miles of asphalt. Public space? I don't think so. Less than half the people in New York City even own a car. But we hand it off, and we think it's kind of necessary until this happens, and it happens, and it happens, and it happens, and we are left thinking, what on earth are we doing? Why are we giving up what is ours for pleasure, for enjoyment, for quiet, for any number of whatever else you need? Just take a look at 34th Avenue with open streets, 22 blocks of open streets. I was looking, emptying out some closets the other day, and I came across my husband's doctor's bag. I had painted it white after his bike, after 10 years of being a ghost bike, went to Denmark, where they wanted to do, and they did, an exhibit on how cultures honor where people have died. So I painted this white, but I hadn't opened it. And recently I was going through some things and I opened it. In addition to his stethoscope and his hammer, this is what he took on his bike to visit people who were dying of AIDS and wanted to be able to die at home, to his elderly patients. In addition to his stethoscope and other things, which I guess I took out because I thought, no, here it is, was this. What he called a spalding. This he kept in his doctor's bag because after work, if he could meet a friend and they could play stickball He was the happiest person in the world. A Brooklyn kid growing up in the streets of New York, they played stickball on the street. So what are we going to do? Are we going to have joy on our streets? Are we going to have 34th Avenue with little swimming pools for kids in the summer and tables where they're sitting and having their lunch and learning how to play checkers or chess or whatever else? Adults who are learning to speak Spanish can sit outside in the sunlight under the trees and gather together because it's a livable city? Or are we going to have this? Constant loss, bereavement, sadness, misery, families destroyed. It's our choice, and it's up to our leaders. And I'm very grateful for the people who are here today who are our legislators. But we need moral courage. We need people who are going to make hard, radical decisions. This is a systemic problem, and it calls for systemic answers. Vision Zero, 25 by 25, reclaim 25% of what is a public space used now for the automobile and turn it into space for people.
Yes.
Demand that your legislators sign on to that and make it happen. We need you. There are no names yet for December. The saddest thing is we know there will be. We know there are people walking right now, or maybe being pushed in strollers. That could be your uncle, your cousin, your mother, your child, your partner. And they will be dead by January 1st. And that's a harrowing thought, but it's true. I'm sad to say. But thank you all for being here today. Let's make this happen. Hold their feet to the fire. We have a mayor that's sold out. Let us hope and demand that we have a mayor that comes through, that has the vision for the city that we need. Thank you.
Danny?
Good evening. I want to invite those of you to come a little bit closer. And you as well. Because I want to tell you something. My name is Danny Harris, and I'm honored to be the Executive Director of Transportation Alternatives. The sad reality of our work is that this is actually where things need to happen. When it's cold and it's dark, and we're fortunate to still have some elected leaders here, many others have left, and we're still here after months, after years, after decades of telling the same stories over and over again, of standing here, of too often being a prop at a vigil, the crying mother, a series of promises that are never made. So this is when the work actually happens. 13 years for Queens Boulevard. Almost 40 years for the Brooklyn Bridge, almost 40 years in Central Park. 40 years. 40 years for simple projects. All we're asking for is not complicated. What we're asking for is that in a city where 60% now of our vehicles are assault vehicles, SUVs, light trucks, vehicles that are so big, 12 of my daughters and my sons and our children can sit in front of these vehicles and the driver can't see them. And then they'll call it an accident. Our leaders will do nothing. Time and time again, we'll have to stand here. And so here's where we do the work. When it's late and when it's cold and when we're tired and we want to go home, but we're going to have to keep fighting. Because Mary Beth, as you said, there will be more names in December and in January and in February and in the months to come. This is not simply about the dignity of people to cross the street. This is for the future of our city and the future of our soul. Every day, I, who lead an organization focused on street safety, am terrified to cross the street. I, who have the privilege and the dignity to work with all of you and hear your stories every day, to cross one street with my children. And I'm terrified. And I have the privilege and the resources to stand here and to speak with elected officials and to write op-eds. And I'm terrified. And what about all of you who've had the experience and you hold on to that trauma? To those of you who know somebody, to those of you who are scared about what is to come, to the elected leaders who are still here, we say thank you. I'm teaching my children about decision making now. What's right, what's wrong, when it's time to take a bath, when it's time not to watch another episode of Scooby-Doo. Today's a special day, of course. All of us have to make difficult decisions, but when you're an elected official, there is a decision that you are going to have to make, which is, are you more scared of sitting across from a family member who's lost a 3-month-old, killed on a sidewalk, somebody's beloved mother who was killed just trying to cross the street? Are you more scared? Are you more worried? Are you working for that family that will sit across from you inevitably? Or are you more scared of inconveniencing, simply inconveniencing those who have the privilege of spending $10,000 a year in car-related payments to park their vehicle for 90+% of the time? Who are you fighting for? Who are you really fighting for? You are all here to make difficult decisions, and we're here to support you. We're honored that you stand here to sign this pledge to advance 25 by 25 to get Vision Zero on track, because it certainly isn't now, and this is not just COVID. This is 3 years of rising traffic violence, and we're seeing a national trend. So I thank you for standing here. I want to honor all of you, really, all of you, who come time and time again. In closing, I want to thank all of you who are here, and I especially want to point out Hannah Wadowski. Hannah, are you here?
Hey, Hannah!
I am so grateful to work with such an incredible staff, and I just want to highlight Hannah. Hannah, year after year, month after month, you stand here, you show up, you help to organize people, you help to bring this incredible tragedy that people have and have it focus on advocacy. From the seeds to the support, we're grateful for you as a partner, and really thank you for helping to make this such an incredible event. So thank you all, and I wish you a good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danny.
Just a few more words of thanks. It takes an entire community to bring the changes we want to see and to host a memorial event like today's. A special thank you to Earth Matter for the beautiful donation of compost in our pots, processed right here on Governor's Island. And to Green Thumb for the incredible assortment of seeds, and to both organizations for being leaders in making our city a greener, safer, and more nourishing home. And most important, I want to thank everyone who is here with us today, both in person and those of you watching the live feed. Showing up is how we plant the seeds of change. Showing up is how we plant the seeds of safe streets. Finally, though we don't want this memorial to go away, we indeed must break it down. Please take some of the pots, share them with your neighbors, with your community. Take the seeds, plant them, share them. Everything here is available to be taken, and everything else must be packed up. I invite anyone who is able to stay on to help clean up. Alicia, Elisa, and Sam, please raise your hands. If you can help to clean up, please see them.